Now, if introducing new welfare reforms actually ended up costing us more rather than saving money, you might wonder what the point of it all was. Well, figures seen by Channel 4 News suggest that could happen when the government's so-called bedroom tax comes into force in April. Last week, we told you how it will affect thousands of social housing tenants. And today, David Cameron and Ed Miliband clashed over the issue during Prime Minister's questions. Kieran Jenkins has this report.
Spare rooms abound in this part of Wigan, not a perk, but a liability. From April, social housing tenants deemed to be under-occupying their homes must move out or see their housing benefit cut. It'll trim millions from the welfare bill, says the government, but tonight doubts that in parts of the country it'll save anything at all. Around here, like much of the north of England, there's a surplus of large family homes and a shortage of smaller properties. If people want to downsize, they may have to look at the private rental market at a far greater cost to the taxpayer. And so a policy designed to save the government money could, in places like this, have completely the opposite effect. Critics call it the bedroom tax, supporters the under-occupation penalty. David Barker doesn't care what you call it, he just wants it to go away. Thank you.
Well, basically this is the back bedroom. This is what's classed as the extra bedroom. This is where I'm just putting all the stuff to decide whether I keep it or throw it out, you know, whether I pack it away in case I do have to move.
David has leukemia and doesn't expect to recover. He lives alone in this two-bed in Wigan, his family home for 40 years.
When you've grown up in a place and you know your parents both lived here and basically died here, you like to think that the way I am at the minute, I would have the opportunity to actually end my days here as well.
And if you were to do what the government wants you to do, it would actually cost them more money.
Yeah, so I thought it would, you know, because I've looked at the rents and it's actually more than this house.
What do you make of that?
I think that's just stupid.
For David, the maths work out like this. In his two-bed social housing home, he gets £75 a week to help pay his rent. Come April, that'll be cut to just £64. But if David downsized to a one-bed flat in the private rented sector, he could claim up to £81, costing the taxpayer £17 more per week. Across Wigan, the company managing almost all the social housing says the benefit changes could result not in a saving, but a £500,000 additional cost to the welfare bill. The chief executive of Wigan and Lee Housing says the government got its sums wrong.
On paper, they could make around about £2.9 million a year saving. Sadly, we don't think that will materialise. We just haven't got the property to move the households into. They're going to be displaced into the far more expensive private rented sector.
What's the point of the bedroom tax then, if in this part of the country it's actually going to cost the government money?
One has to question why, yes. Why do this?
At Prime Minister's questions, Ed Miliband asked David Cameron exactly that.
Mr. Speaker, how can it possibly make sense to force people into a situation where they cost the state more, not less, by moving to the private rented sector?
What this government is doing is building more homes.
This is my bedroom in the corner, and this is the lounge, and that's where Brandon sleeps.
So this is lounge plus Brandon's bedroom?
Yes.
How do you feel about that, Brandon?
Not good, really.
This is why the government says the under-occupation penalty is needed. Fiona Black and her son's home is overcrowded by any definition.
The council have said to me when this new tax, bedroom tax, comes into play, I'll have people begging me to move.
Because they want to downsize?
They'll have to downsize if they don't want to pay this bedroom tax. I feel upset about it. I don't want to move on someone else's misery. We can only bid on...
But Fiona would move, a reluctant beneficiary of reforms which will see hundreds of thousands out of pocket. And reports from social landlords across the north of England suggest in places the government itself could lose out.